Good morning, CSL Simi Valley. Welcome to another beautiful day of Virch. Coming to you live from the center here. Looking forward to your return as soon as possible. We're working on that. Lovely, lovely, lovely day. So we got Facebook, we got YouTube, we've got CSLSimi.org, and we have the space here. And there's plenty of, we're holding down the sacred space. John did a beautiful treatment before talking about the thing that you mentioned, Jon Newbill, our practitioner of the day. He said that we were standing with social distance as we did our prayer. He said, despite the fact that there is space, physical space between us, there is no space truly between us in spirit. And I love that idea that in spirit there is no space between us. You know, every year, the Centers for Spiritual Living and Science of Mind magazine picks a hero of the year. And our spiritual hero for 2021 was Thich Nhat Hanh. It's on the December, his face is on the December issue. And just so touched by the news. You know, he had a major stroke about 4 years ago, I think it was 92. And then Saturday, a stroke that he did not survive. And so he's made his transition. He's crossed over the bridge. But man, oh man, and such an example of just pure spiritual living. And what we've been talking about this month is keeping it spiritually simple. Thich Nhat Hanh was all about making life simple, peaceful, calm. In his engaged form of Buddhism, which also was a lot about social activism and political reform around the world, particularly in his home country of Vietnam. But he took that all across the world. In fact, it was such a conundrum for the world. When Thich Nhat Hanh was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize in 1967, because it was such a controversial time in the world, they decided, we don't know what to do. We just won't give one this year. It was just too much. He was nominated, but he didn't receive it that year because they didn't even give one out. One of my favorite Thich Nhat Hanh stories is, you know, he was a wonderful poet as well. And a young man hired him or paid him for a retreat weekend to practice poetry, to learn about poetry. And he arrives, and the guy says, when are we going to start working on the poetry? He says, well, let's have dinner first. Then after dinner, the gentleman says, oh, do we start poetry now? And he says, no. You know what? We're going to do the dishes. And then the next morning he wakes up, and the guy's all excited. Is today the day we work on poetry? He goes, no, we're going to go tend the garden. Oh, he's tending the garden. He says, after the garden, are we going to do poetry? And Thich Nhat Hanh looks at him and he says, poetry is in the dishes. Poetry is in the lettuce. Poetry is in life. And I just love that idea, keeping it purely simple. So today, Thich Nhat Hanh, keeping it simple in our hearts. We also keep it simple in how we practice our own personal vision and mission statement here at the Center for Spiritual Living. It's on your screen right now. Join me here in the sanctuary as we say it together and out loud at home. Scream it out loud so your neighbors are going, what are they doing over there? Here we go. We're community, inclusive, loving, and authentic. We celebrate all paths to God. In gratitude, empowering self and others. We serve compassionately through outreach, inspiration, and education. That's who we are. That's why we're here, and here's what we do.
I had my matching mask this morning. So join me in an opening treatment. Knowing that there is one divine presence in, through, and as everything. And that includes each person joining us today for this service through the miracle of the internet. Knowing that this divine presence is kind. Today I open the door to simple living. Simple living by simple acts of kindness. Knowing that one kind act can lighten a load, brighten a day, or change a life. So today, I choose to take action to perform small acts of kindness, simple acts of kindness. Compliment a stranger. Write a thank you note. Pay for the person behind you at Starbucks. Or my favorite, conspire with the waitress to pay for the meal for a family at another table. Leave a note on a bathroom wall that says, "You look amazing today." Plant a tree, pick up trash, practice gratitude, volunteer, leave a love note in a library book, give a hug after asking permission, hold a door open, smile, because as we all know, a smile is contagious. It creates a ripple that goes on out into infinity. So with great gratitude for all the possible ways of experiencing simple acts of kindness, I release my word into the law, and so it is. So now join us in the opening song.
How can I serve today, sweet spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Who needs my love today, sweet spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. How can I serve today? How can I serve today? Who needs my love today? Who needs my love today? Sweet Spirit.
So I'll read the affirmation once, and then I'll invite you all to read it with me. And as Reverend Stephen says, shout it so the neighbors hear. I experience transformation individually and collectively through my awareness of simple daily encounters with the divine. Okay, everybody. I experience transformation individually and collectively through my awareness of simple daily encounters with the divine. So my reading today, I chose from the Science of Mind textbook from part 5 from the teachings of Jesus on the secret of prayer. The secret of prayer and its power in the outward life depends upon the unconditioned faith in and reliance upon inner presence. We must enter the closet. That is, we are to shut out all else and enter the presence of Spirit in quietness and confidence, believing. Prayer has power not through repetition, but by belief and acceptance. Prayer is to be simple. direct, and receiving. We are to believe that God indwells in our own life, that this presence is sufficient for all needs. We are to believe that God will provide for and bless us abundantly. And when we enter this secret place, we are to leave all else behind, all hate, animosity, and vindictiveness, for only then shall doing so can we enter.
Okie dokie. Come on up, Margaret. This morning we have our dear sister, Margaret Owens. Yeah. Thank you.
Paused in the light of morning and let you shine on me a while. I could feel your power upon me and the sweet warmth of your rays, they made me smile. And all the blades of the grass stood shimmering as if they understood to be effortlessly bathed in your blessings is very, very good. So it is, and so it shall be. We don't have to justify any more than the lilies of the field or the bird in flight has to bloom or has to fly. They do it 'cause they're called to. They do it 'cause it's what they've come here to be. And the moment you serve your own heart is the moment you are free. How strange that we toil and labor in guilt and blame and compromise, giving in the voice of doubt that drowns out what the inner truth belies. If we could just breathe and feel and listen to the lover's constant beat. God's the host of this great banquet and has invited us to eat. And so it is, and so it shall be. We don't have to justify any more than the lilies of the field or the bird in flight has to bloom or has to fly. They do it 'cause they're called to. They do it 'cause it's what they've come here to be. The moment you serve your own heart is the moment you are free. There is enough. There is time. There is no need. Only endless supply of the good that's around.
It's that time for our 3-minute meditation for the God Awareness Place. And I get excited because I get to ring the gong. After I ring the gong, and then 3 minutes have passed, and Cherie will bring us back with her music.
I am in the darkness. I am in the light. See me if you can. Everywhere I am.
So as always, you're invited to develop your own meditation practice from a minute to a half an hour to an hour. Just explore. Namaste.
Come on up again, Margaret. Easy does it.
These are all inspired by your talk title.
does it, darling. Take it nice and slow. Sink into the river of creation. Just enjoy the flow. It's amazing what comes to you when you will consciously let go. So remember, easy does it, darling. Merrily along the way. It's supposed to be fun now, don't forget it. Go out, claim the bliss that blooms each day. And if you've lost it in the shadows, then you know you gotta find a brighter thought to light the way. Hear me when I say, easy does it. Easy does it. Nice and gentle, darling. Nothing's broken and you cannot get it wrong. Picture yourself perfect for a moment. Hear your heart's sweet song. Bless the challenges before you brought to explore. You know it, they will not last for very long. Here where you belong. Easy does it. Easy does it. There's nothing to fix and you will never get it all done. So take a breather. The answers you seek are in the river. So come on in, the water's fine. The sense of well-being is divine. So easy does it. Easy does it.
Thank you, Margaret.
Margaret Owens. Sweet. Easy does it. So we continue to move forward with the idea of keeping it spiritually simple with simple living. We've asked the questions, we've looked at the pleasures and treasures, which should come each and every day, and all of it leads to just easy does it. Take it nice and slow. You know, it's interesting, as I was thinking about the simple pleasures, easy does it, take it nice and slow, and this image came to mind. It reminded me of the Michael Jackson song, the Jackson 5. Remember that song? A, B, C, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Do, re, mi, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, spirit, you and me, ah. That's it. That's the truth of it all. Keep it like A, B, C. Old days, early Facebook, when you would, I don't think they have this anymore. Maybe they do. I don't know, because my relationship is very clear. But there used to be something on there. You could click relationship complicated. It's complicated. I think they got rid of that. I think Facebook has ruined so many relationships. They figured out that your relationship with Facebook is complicated, you know. But that was there, and it really it spoke though volumes about the life that we live, because it does feel very complicated. The way things happen in our world, and just how many people do you go to see at their house and the DVD player is flashing on the time, if they still have that DVD player? You know, it's complicated. We don't want to even read all the directions. We want things to be simple, but life doesn't feel simple. And a lot of times we also need to qualify for life. There was a storytelling group called Celestial Navigations. They tell these incredible spoken word stories that were with the background music. It was just phenomenal and very, very impactful. And there was one story about a guy who was on his way to California. And on his way, he would stop, and he felt like he had to do this thing before he could do that thing. How many of us have that? I can't do this because I got to do that first. And once I do that, then I can do this, then I can do that, before I get to that. And that just becomes a really complicated expression of life. Simply being, if you have the desire to do something, just go do it. You'll figure it out. If you don't, go to YouTube. The DIY will tell you there's do-it-yourself videos for everything in the world nowadays. But we wait so often for our lives to really start living. We wait until we get the thing done, get the right degree, get the right certificate, have taken the right coursework before we can step into the right experience of life. But if it is in you, it's already calling forth for you. But in our I want to say our civilization's arrogance, we feel like we need to conquer the world. We've covered the world, as Dr. Holmes has said. We've covered the world with our commerce. We've got steamships and nuclear ships that fly here, that travel here, and folks that are traveling out to outer space. We really love our technology. We've made it everything intense, but in that doing so, it sometimes made it hard for us to perceive just how beautiful the simplicity of life is. And the ancients have told us that. You know, the great wayshower told us we should be childlike. So we know the message is actually to break out our building blocks and to keep it very simple, you know. But we always want to make it a little bit more hard. But also the way the ancients tell us is the wisdom books of time. They say that the pure in heart are those that will see God. See, it's not in living in our space of fear, but in our space of faith that allows us to move into this simple experience of life itself. You know, we go through the motions every single day of what it takes to get things done. Wake up, as Sarah Blondin says, we wake up in the morning and we pick up off the bedstand all the challenges of the previous day and put them into our pockets. Metaphorically, she speaks about that. But we also put those challenges, we take them and set them on the bedstand, and the next morning we pick up all of our worries and begin the day again. We don't begin it with simplicity. And in so doing, we miss the beauty that's available to us in the morning. How challenging it is, the first thing you do is you pick up your phone and you scroll through your mail, and then you click on your mobile app for your bank, and you check your banking account, and then you get the notifications for all the news articles that you need to see, that you need to read. One of them yesterday, I was like, what? Rich people are drinking rhino horn tea? What's that all about? You know, these are just crazy stuff. And all of that is happening while right there just beyond your view, out the window, there's a squirrel trying to get the orange off your orange tree. You know, there's a hummingbird humming past and buzzing past the feeder. There's these simple pleasures of life waiting for you, and we're stuck in that complicated, closed-out world that happens within our smartphones. How smart is that? We're waiting for the next thing, when the next thing is right here in front of us. What did Thich Nhat Hanh tell us? The present moment is where it's all about. The present moment, it's the gift. But what are we doing? We're looking for something beyond that. Joseph Campbell talks about that in that wonderful book, The Power of Myth, where he says, I think what we're seeking is an experience of being alive, so that our life experiences on the purely physical plane will have resonance within our innermost being and reality, so that we actually feel, I love this use of this word, so that we actually feel the rapture of being alive. That's what we're looking for. And we don't have to look that far for it. It's right here, available to us and within us. This seeking something spectacular to happen. Something that's going to lift us up. Something's going to excite us and get us up out of bed and thrilled for the day, when it's already happening right here within us. That spectacular thing that we're looking for out there, we're looking for it with what we have to see it, and it is within us. That's something that resides within us. It is maintaining our very existence. It's sustaining our very being in life itself. It's the reality ready to inspire us into that great moment of living. So when the challenges of the day are getting us down, when the notifications and the alarms are going off and telling us what we need to do, maybe what we need to do is just to get quiet and get simple. I was thinking about our 3 minutes of meditation just a minute ago. When we were on Virch for a year and a half, it seemed people were thinking, oh my God, it's so hard for me to sit 3 minutes in my house. So we listened to the commands of the folks at home, and we shortened the meditation on Virch to 1 minute. And now in this temporary returning to Virch, we've kept the service just as it is when you're in the sanctuary. So we're back to 3 minutes. And as I was thinking about that, it reminded me, this morning, thinking about our 3 minutes, it reminded me of that challenge we had where we shortened it for you. If 3 minutes, and this is what came to me, and this is what came to me, I think this makes it simple. If 3 minutes is hard for you to sit with at home, that's great. What that's telling you is you need to do it a little bit more, until suddenly the 3 minutes doesn't seem that hard. Then becomes simple, becomes easy, because you're going to practice it. See, what we're talking about is a practice that we put into place. We're talking about putting a practice into place to see the simplicity of life and to live from that space. I'm not saying you shouldn't have the smartphone. I'm not saying that you shouldn't check your notifications, or that you should not keep up with your bank balance. Those are very smart things. But can we put them into an arrangement of our lives that allows us to live in the spectacular moment of who we are before we get into the moment of what we want to be and where we need to go? That's simple living. Don't wait for the next thing. Be the next thing. And Dr. Holmes says that's the most important thing. That's the first and most important thing, is to make life simple by returning to what he calls a sane spirituality. Don't make it so difficult. There was a little kid who was drawing. His dad was noticing that he was drawing, and it was a father-daughter moment. And he says to her, "What are you drawing?" And she says, "I'm drawing a picture of God." And the father, because we've made things so complicated as we get older, so philosophical, so deep, the dad goes, "Well, no one knows what God looks like." And the little girl says, "Well, they will as soon as I finish my drawing." We have taken that part of us away, where we can see the very simple nature of life itself. It's time to acknowledge that within ourselves, to experience something called a spiritual alchemy, a transformation from the complex to the simple, from the complex to the easy. To understand that what that extraordinary experience we're looking for, that rapture of feeling alive that we're looking for, is waiting right there in the ordinary experience. The more deeply we can dive into that ordinary experience, the more special that experience becomes extraordinary. Back to the meditation. There was this moment in my own meditative practice when I sat down for a 10-minute sit. Actually, it was 11 minutes, because I like to use prime numbers and odd numbers. I don't like 10 or 20 minutes. So 13 minutes, 17 minutes, 11 minutes. I used to do it like that. And so I sat down for 11 minutes. I set my little timer for it, and I started meditating. And then I realized, I think I've been meditating for a long time. Oh, well, I'm sure the alarm will go off shortly. I meditated some more. This feels so good, but surely the alarm should go off by now. opened my eyes. 33 minutes later, I had not hit the button for the alarm to start rolling, and I didn't even realize. I mean, I knew it had been a long time, but I didn't know how much time it had been. So I closed my eyes. I went back into it some more. I was gone for an hour. Such bliss. But that came from a slow progression of growth, a slow understanding of how to break it down and to make it a little more simple, a little more ordinary. And that's when I found an extraordinary experience. I don't need to set my timer. So these examples of extraordinary experiences abound. They are all around us. I mean, think about it. Think about the butterfly that is contained within the caterpillar. Think about the oak tree, the majestic oak tree. Oh, speaking of majestic oak trees, that tangent, set the clock, 30 seconds. Where is that tree that you did that video, Margaret?
It's a park off of Canaan.
A park off of Canaan. There's a tree. Okay, a park off Canaan past a street called Church.
In Oak Park.
It's in Oak Park.
Yes.
If you haven't, okay, now you had to go back in our archives to find this video that Margaret did.
Called Only One Love.
Only One Love? Is it also on video? Can I find it on YouTube or something?
Yeah.
Okay, on YouTube. Only One Love. She is at this amazing oak tree. And I see this tree. It's just a phenomenal oak tree. And that started in an acorn. That's extraordinary stuff in the ordinary thing of life. In the seed, the simple seed, there exists an orchard. You can count the seeds in an orange, but you cannot count the orange trees in a seed. There's extraordinary stuff in very simple things. This is why I'm promoting going to a more simple living. It doesn't mean that you won't have a complex life. I mean, come on. The oak tree that we're talking about, it's pretty complex. The orchard is pretty intense, but it starts from that little itty seed. One form, moving into a higher form, into a higher form, into a higher form. But it begins with its true essence and simplicity. We can see our truer essence when we bring ourselves down to that simple moment. And when we do that for ourselves, it puts us in a place that we can benefit the entire world. Abdul Sharif wrote a book called Creating a World That Works. And in it he says, a world that works for all is one where mundane actions serve our deepest individual and collective needs. In such a world, the possibility of the beautiful and the sublime exist because we have taken care of the ordinary. Beautiful quote that I found a couple weeks ago that I decided I would use this morning. And it's interesting that the person that I opened the service talking about, Thich Nhat Hanh, really exemplified this idea of creating that world that works for all by the mundane action of just being at peace with himself. And in so doing, worked toward a collective goal of peace for his entire community and even peace around the world. Finding something beautiful and sublime in something as simple as the lettuce, as the Thai, as the wok, as the plum that his village was named after, Plum Village. See, but we have made it all so complicated. And in so doing, I think we've missed our gift, missed our role in life, trying to capture something out there when that something that lies within is already telling us what we need to do to create the most wonderful and joyous life we can possibly have. You know, I like to go to nature. There's a wonderful book that's blowing up all over the country right now. I don't know if it's a New York Times bestseller, but it's definitely a bestseller in our house. We've given it to like 3 or 4 different people. It's called Braiding Sweetgrass. And in it, the author talks about the wood thrush. And the wood thrush and its duty, the wood thrush's duty is to sing a lullaby to the forest. What is your duty? What is it you are called to do? Dr. Holmes says that we have made a riddle. We have made a riddle out of simplicity. Therefore, we have not read the sermons written in stones, nor interpreted the light of love running through light. The sermons written in stones. How many times have you taken the time out to just sit at the beach and watch the grains of sand move back and forth with the waves of the ocean? Or to really sit, simply to sit with a stone. Think about a stone that sits on a mountainside and what it has seen in the years, the eons, the centuries that it has been there. Such wisdom waiting there for our simple interpretation of it. See, we all receive the same divine light. It's within us all. It's the same light, but it is not seen through the same prism. Therefore, it is not interpreted and shared to the world in the same way. We bring a unique experience to what is written in the stones. We bring a unique experience to the interpretation of light. We bring a unique experience to love running through life. And we can simply address that within ourselves and bring that forth in a wonderful way. It brings poetry to the heart. Dr. Holmes writes about this. Sometimes he's just so poetic. He says that, this is not a quote, this is something I just pulled out of the book that I wanted to share with you. He says, the farmer has seen the heavenly host in the fields. The child has frolicked with him at play. The mother has clasped him to her breast, and the fond lover has seen him in the eyes of his beloved. We look too far away for reality. We look too far away for reality. It is simply right here. When we look, it arrives. And there's a consciousness of unity that takes place when we can see those things that he talks about. When the farmer looks out across his field and sees what's growing. I woke up this morning, I went out and was checking the collard greens. They are growing so beautifully. It's wonderful. And I noticed that there's so much abundance there that there's enough for the little grub worm to eat some of the leaves. And I didn't have to get all upset about that. It deserves to live too. You see, what we're looking for in life, we're looking with and we're looking through it. We are the divine being expressed in time and space, and it's something for us to really do. That there is this heaven waiting for all of us. There's this harmonious experience waiting for all of us, available to us through our simple perceptions of everything that is right here in front of us. There's no need to make it complicated. Keep it simple. And to keep it simple, we must get that simple wisdom. And know that each gift that we have for life, each gift that we have carries a certain responsibility. And we are responsible. We are responsible to that responsibility. And that is simply for us to express, to be creative beings. We constantly are creative. I was talking to another friend of mine who was talking about how challenging it is for him to meditate. My mind's always working. I just can't stop thinking. I go, yeah, so what? Well, it makes I can't meditate. What do you mean? Of course you can meditate. If your mind is thinking, which I hope it is, if you're having thoughts, which I hope you are, that is such a fertile field for meditation, because all you got to do is start thinking about your thoughts. Oh, there's a thought, there's a thought, there's a thought, there's a thought. Then eventually, there's a space between thoughts, a space between thoughts. That's meditation, being aware, being simply present. And when we get to that sense of presence, then we can hear the divine voice whispering. And it whispers, here's your duty, here's your call, here's your responsibility, and you simply go about doing that. It's waiting for you. And there's a power within us to create, and there's also a power within us to destroy. But the one to do is to invest in that power of creation, not in the one of destroying. In the Gospel of Thomas, it says, if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will serve you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. That's some awesome wisdom. The wisdom in the Gospel of Thomas was so intense that they took that book and they hid it in a cave so nobody would find it. But we found it. Think about that. There is something within you that will let you live more fully. It's calling you to live more fully. And if you do not let that out, it will destroy you. It's little wonder. I am not the least bit surprised. And oh my God, I'm not saying anybody deserves this. I hate that it's happening. But it just dawns on me that it's like cancer is all around our culture these days, because there is something within all of us that we are not allowing out, because we've gotten so complicated and tightened up and concerned about what are they thinking and what is this happening, and not expressing ourselves more fully, and it is destroying us. There is a way that we see the world. We see nature, and we know it's beautiful. It needs to be there for the children and the children of the children that are to come. We know that. Yet we still. A friend of mine the other day was talking about his new truck. He says, I'm so amazed my new truck, it gets 30 miles to the gallon. I says, 30 miles to the gallon? Are you kidding, dude? That's not good. That's not good. We have the ability. When I was doing environmental reporting back in the early 80s, late 80s and early 90s, there was a guy who created something he called Brown's gas. And he was an additive that you could put into the gas tank. They would turn a regular ice car, internal combustion engine car, and get that car up to about 100 miles a gallon. That was 30 years ago. We still don't get there. We have not figured out that there is something within us that we are not releasing out, and it is slowly destroying us around the world. You know, you just see it happening. Wow. The Alchemist. Got a little bit on my soapbox there. Let me bring it back. Come back, Stephen. The Alchemist, Paul Coelho. He says, it is the simple things in life that are the most extraordinary, and only the wise are able to understand them. Only the wise are able to understand these simple things. Guess what? We are the wise. Each and every one of us, we are wise. There is wisdom in us to understand these great things. We can do anything, but we must put our efforts there. We must put our efforts there. And sometimes we need to stretch ourselves a little bit. I know I'm talking about making it simple, and I'm not trying to make this hard on you. In fact, I think this is part of the simple life, the simple message. We are very busy and comfortable doing things that we are good at. But sometimes we miss doing things that we are naturally interested in because we think we're not good at them. I'm guilty of this. John Bellis will tell you. I am absolutely interested in playing the guitar. But I have conditioned myself, and I'm trying to break that conditioning, of thinking I've got to be good at whatever it is I do. It's okay to be terrible at playing the guitar if I'm interested in playing the guitar. It's just that simple. I don't have to be good to have fun, to be in joy and in harmony with life. It's a key to simple living. Bring forth what is within me before it destroys me. Bring forth what is within you before it destroys you. Unpack the riddle that Dr. Holmes talks about. See, your simple gift requires no action on your part. Your simple gift is already a part of your experience. It's part of who and what you are. Your simple gift in life is the action of Spirit itself. It's not a reward. You've not been rewarded with your talents and your abilities and your wisdom and your ingenuity. It's not you didn't earn it. And you don't even really deserve it. And I'm not saying like you're not worthy of it. That's not what I mean. What I mean is it simply appears out of the self-givingness of Spirit, the self-givingness of the divine. This loving energy that wants to express itself as you has given you all of these simple treasures and pleasures and all of these wonderful questions to ask of yourself so that you can have this simple, exciting life. So it's our role to see that, to understand that, and then to nurture that within ourselves, to open up to that impersonal universe that responds to us personally. See, the impersonal universe, the impersonal law appears very personal as we recognize it because it becomes ours and we get to appreciate it and apply it to our life. Dr. Holmes says that which today seems to us supernatural, after it is understood, will be found to be spontaneously natural. This mysterious thing called life that we think is so crazy we can't understand, when we begin to slow down and dive into it, ask the simple questions of it, receive the pleasures and the treasures of it, and then live in it in a simple sort of way, we will begin to understand that this is a natural way of being. We're just supposed to engage in life that way. Dr. Holmes has a wonderful affirmation in one of his books that I ran into this week. I looked at so many different books, I don't remember which one it is. And I also forgot to mention that this is Dr. Holmes' birthday week. Yeah, his birthday was on the 21st, so a lot of the Holmes quotes today and in celebration of Ernest Shefflet, the Question Holmes. That was his, it was Shirtliff. Shirtliff was his middle name. What a crazy middle name. What a wonderful man. So grateful to have him in our lives. And so he says this, and affirm this with me. Let's just do this out loud together. Here's to go to the next one. Here it is. Try this. I turn the dial of my thought to the sunshine of life, into the brightness and laughter, into the joyous presence of radiant spirit. I lay aside all anxiety, all striving, and let the law of divine love operate through me into my affairs. That's what we get to do. That's the recipe for the simple life. Turn the consciousness of thought to the sunshine, to the bright light of life. Enjoy it lightly, brightly, with laughter, and let this joyous presence radiate and illuminate from your very spirit. All anxiety will be pushed aside. All the striving will be moved out of the way, because the divine law of love will operate through you into each and every affair of your existence. That right there, my friends, I believe, is the key to simple living. And so it is. And another affirmation. Oh, this one's mine, not Dr. Holmes. Not Dr. Holmes. I experience transformation, individually and collectively, through my awareness of simple daily encounters with the divine. So let's go into that revealing prayer at this moment and have some of those daily encounters. Let's affirm the daily encounters with the spiritual presence. It's a part of who we are. That is what we are. So right now in this moment, I'm recognizing there is this divine presence, this great something that comes out of a great no thing. The sweetest paradox, that in the beginning there was darkness, and the consciousness that was aware of itself said, let there be light, as in an idea. And that idea burst into expression and form that became the manifest universe itself, that continues to be birthed again and again and on and on. And we are that manifestation here and now, in this time, in this place, containing all the power, the substance, the awareness, the strength, and the ability, and the consciousness to use this awareness in a natural way. So in this moment, I'm recognizing that each and every one of us is tapping into that divine power, is recognizing our creative juices, is putting that into action through the divine ideas that come forth in those moments of awareness that I am here to expand, to grow, to evolve, and to serve humankind, earth kind, universal kind, life itself. As an active participant in this thing called life, I know that I am stepping forth into a more vibrant experience of life with each and every action, with each and every breath, with each and every moment. So in simple awareness and full recognition that we are of the one, in the one, as the one, I release this word of affirmative truth into a law that hears the intentions of our hearts and makes those intentions the reality of our life here and now. And so it is. This is where we go into supporting our spiritual community. There are a few ways to do that. They're on the screen. The website, the Breeze text option, where you text the word give and your amount to this number on the screen, 805-600-5677. You're welcome to call the office. Those few of you who are here this morning, there was a basket outside. You can make a donation into the basket, and just want to be grateful to all of the community that has held us together and continues to keep us strong and vibrant, and making sure that we are going to be here for the next 35 years as we move forward as CSL Simi Valley. And we anchor this truth with this affirmation that says, divine love, it's doing its perfect work here and now. Divine love harmonizes, Divine love adjusts. Divine love prospers. Divine love foresees everything and richly provides every good thing for CSL Simi Valley. Now, divine love is victorious. A couple of announcements for you. Cherie's going to do background music this week at the Center for Spiritual Living, Simi Valley.
Up again. Red. Just so you know, all of these songs are written by Margaret. She's quite amazing songwriter and quite prolific.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for this beautiful day.
Indeed. Am I going in and out? There it is. There I am. So maybe I should say all that back for the folks. I say, here we are. We've done it again. These things keep ending, but as John tells us, it's also a beginning. So it's just another time to come back. We'll see you again next week. Please do come back next week for us on your video webs, and keep posting. Keep your eyes on your internet for updates and announcements on where we stand in terms of opening here at the center and all that kind of stuff. Because we really do we do miss your energy, and so grateful for your energy online. And people are excited about going out in search of the oak tree. There was a lot about that on the chat this morning. So
There's a dog park in Oak Park.
where the dog park is in Oak Park.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cool. Cool. And I think, but it's not in the dog park. It's this dog park adjacent. All right. Well, a lot of gratitude for Margaret, of course, and your music, which is all over on YouTube, Apple, iTunes. Purchases 99 cents. Buy her music. You know, in the world today, it's great that the artists are giving so much of themselves, but I think they're leaking like pennies on the dollar. So buy the music and support. You know, we live in an abundance universe, and we reward people by this paper stuff. That's what we say thank you. And we also say thank you to the Soul Purpose Band, John, our sound engineer, and awesome bass player, Randy on the drums. Awesome to have you there. And Stevie, sweet lead this morning on Woke Up This Morning. That was lovely. I love that. Were you going to say something? Oh, he's falling off. Yes. I know all of our ears after a couple of years, we're all going. I was actually going to say something probably not as sweet as Dumbo. We're all going to be like Barack Obama. We're all going to have Obama ears before long. He jokes about his own ears. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. He loves it. Dee, thank you for the slides. Wonderful, wonderful. Appreciate that. Well, his daughters love it. They love teasing him about it. Gregory, wonderful work on the on the switching today. Thank you so much for that. And for all of our volunteers that are helping things happen here at the center. Wonderful prayers from John. If you want a prayer from one of our practitioners, just send us an email or put it in the website. You can put a prayer request in the website, and we will, if you need a practitioner to reach out to you, we can have a practitioner call you and connect with you, or you can call us and make an appointment to see a practitioner and get a prayer, get a treatment for whatever might be going on in your life. My life, talk about complicated. I got like 3 practitioners because that's how I roll. I love praying, and I love how it works. It's a wonderful practice. All right. We look forward to having the kids come back soon. There are no Cosmic Kids today. And Dr. Susan, you were not on Facebook or not today or next week. Okay, next week she'll be. Is it she'll figure out. FaceTiming, yes. Dr. Susan FaceTimes with you. So if you have a kid in your life, call this week, get Dr. Susan's phone number, and she will FaceTime with them on Sunday mornings to have some spiritual practice for your youngins so they can get this. And imagine, I can tell you what it's like to have this in your childhood. John and Lane both grew up in this teaching, and their lives are dynamite as a result of it. And I just really appreciate both of you so much. All right, let's stand and do our closing benediction and our singing our last song of the day. I'm at home in the heart of God. My life is anchored in truth. I can never be separate. I live in the consciousness of peace. I release all fear. I am living love.
I release, I let go, I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. I release. know is that I fell in love with you. And if all my dreams come true, I'll be spending time with you. Every day's a new day in love with you. Each day comes a new way of loving you. And every time I see your face, my mind starts to wander. And I always will be true. I know you feel the same way too. I love you more today than yesterday, but not as much as tomorrow. I love you more today than yesterday, but darling, not as much as tomorrow. Tomorrow's day means springtime's just a day away. And Cupid, we don't need you now, be on your way. I thank the Lord for love like ours that grows ever stronger. And I always will be true. I know you feel the same way too. I love you more today than yesterday, but not as much as tomorrow. I love you more today than yesterday, but only not as much as tomorrow. Woo, look at you guys. Oh, I love you more today than yesterday, but not as much as tomorrow. I love you more today than yesterday, but only not as much as tomorrow. Every day's a new day. Every time I'm with you, every day's a new way. Every time I love you, oh, every day's a new day. Every time I love you, every day's a new day. Oh, how I love you. I love you. Thank you for joining. Guys, look at this